with Chapstick's C4. And just left and right, you saw Nomads falling. I'm sure the Blackbeard being lost at the beginning of the round had a major influence on that as well, but we'll see if in their next attacking round, per se, the Blackbeard actually makes it out of spawn alive.
We never got clarification either as to why that happened, so I'm like I said, I'm a bit perplexed. I mean, that Blackbeard could have given you a lot of an advantage, especially on that window that you saw at one point. If I remember correctly, it was Billboard who was on his belly, was able to get the kill through the window inside of Karaoke. You put a Blackbeard up there instead, and that Blackbeard will pretty much win that fight every single time, and that's a big difference right there. Ronin had a flawless round, didn't lose a single body, and now on attack, a Ying is factored into most of their strats. Peng on the blackboard, or Peng on the Blackbeard, a combination of Blackbeard and Billboard, which was not what I intended to do. Sometimes my brain stops working. But
I'm gonna stick with it. I like Blackboard. It's a good but it's Peng on Blackbeard, so
if
I'm just
Bill
gonna ask
played
Billboard.
it, then we call
We'll
it
ask him.
Blackboard.
Yeah. Every time he plays Blackbeard now, it's Blackboard. But the attack is going to be underway as Ash starts to rappel up onto this balcony and just lets that drone head over. Nope, she's going to be going down now, actually, floor. Looks like Ronin might be a little bit more prepped to try to get rid of some of these roamers, maybe put some claymores up on the windows, and just kind of check a little bit, make sure they're safe before they really start moving in. You've got Throw playing in kitchen to make sure he can protect against, you know, a Buck or an Ash going in below to take out those bandit charges on the wall there. But I'm not entirely sure if Ronin is going to focus too much on that. They do have the Thatcher, which can get rid of those bandits' batteries as well, to try to flush them out of Geisha. Geisha hold on this site, it can be massive, but Anime is going to get the first pick onto Peng and then being immediately traded off by Talent. Chapstick moving in, taking out Euphoria as well, as the trades are just kind of going back and forth, but the advantage right now is in favor of Ronin. Looks like the Ying is going to get ready to push in, but Chapstick is going to take out Callie as Callie decides to challenge it. It's 4v2 now. Ella and Mira left standing. Ella is over on the main stairs trying to watch for them to come out of Geisha. Looks like Mira was over in the same area. Chapstick is going to take out Sharsh, and it's all left to Throw, but he's going to get shut down by the Ash on north stairs.
And that was just very precise. Run right in, and 9line making a noticeable impact on his first matchup that we've seen in the past 2 weeks. 9line taking, of course, the spot of Yellow. My apologies there. I guess I was muted. I don't know what keeps going on with my mute button. This is the second time in 2 days. I digress. 2-0 for Ronin, and they are just looking unbeatable right now. Nomads, yes, a slow starting team, but you can't be this slow going up against a team on their map. You're going to have a bad time, and having a bad time seems to be right now what Nomads is going through.
The good thing, though, is this round they're going to have that Blackbeard hopefully make it out of spawn alive. If they can get Euphoria up there, he definitely is a very powerful player when you hand him that Blackbeard. He can do a lot of work from almost any window on any map. So I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of a difference he makes, you know, really not only just having the full 5 people, but having Euphoria on that Blackbeard. And we are going to see a kitchen and barbecue hold, pretty standard second site that you'll see held in higher play in Siege. Typically in Ranked, you'll see something like a workroom. But this site is very easy to hold as long as you're holding up top, in my opinion. But some teams play it a little bit differently. We'll see how. It looks like Ronin is going to be doing that top hold. But this time, I'm not seeing a castle. Oftentimes, I'll see a castle up there to kind of support with that hold on Geisha.
Yeah, you really do need to have at least one anchor where Chap is playing right now in Geisha. That is the most important part. Usually we'll see some teams able to get in and get a quick plant. You got to make sure that the last member alive of your team is not the anchor upstairs as well. It's a funny thing because you need that presence up top to try and slow the entry, but it can be very difficult when they have entry because you can get boxed out of the site, and having a Mira try to contend from the hatch above can almost always mean certain death. If you've got 2 members of the attackers down below, and Sharsh, what a shot as it rings through, kills 9line. That's the Ella down before she can really cause any major heartache to the attacking team.
It's a massive pick to get rid of that Ella early on. She can be a very powerful roamer, especially when you're trying to hold up stairs like this. She can be essential to keeping the attackers off of your anchor that's going to be sitting inside of Geisha. Well, it looks like Peng is up here to support the Mira, though. Grenade is going to come in, not do any damage to anyone, as Anime is working his way in on Buck. That drone is going to come down the hallway, possibly spot out Peng, as Sharsh takes out Billboard downstairs. So it
That's
looks like
Sharsh's second kill, too.
he's going in fast. It's what Ashe players are really meant to do. Euphoria is going to pick off Peng as well, putting it to a 5v2 with 1:40 left on the clock.
Open up some of that wall, try and give themselves a sight line inside of Karaoke. Still trying to flush out the roamers up top. You can see that Talon positioned inside of Geisha. 1.5 minutes left, so good time management at the moment. On behalf of Nomads, Chap eliminates Throw. Euphoria very low on health as well. Chap's going to expend a Nitro Cell, but there's nobody there. Takes out a second. That's his second kill this round and for his team, as he's going to get eliminated by Sharsh and leave just Talon, who very smartly drops down to that site. Sharsh getting 4 kills. Excellent job. If Euphoria hadn't gotten that one as Blackbeard, it would have been all for the Ashe. And Talon even said he was unpredictable.
Yeah, I mean, Sharsh is an incredible Ashe player. He will run in immediately, just go straight into the map, go right into the building, and just take out everyone left and right. It's one of those Ashe players that he's a pretty essential player to the team, in my opinion, when they're attacking. We see a lot of Ashes sometimes in CCS that kind of sit out and wait for the drones, and the droning does tend to be a little bit slow, but it seems like Nomads has really locked down their droning and getting that entry fragger in towards site and just flushing everyone out as quickly as possible.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by
And
attackers.
that was what I was saying about. I'm really glad you got to see it bang on. Was when Talon was the last one left inside of Geisha. There's not much he can do from up top, and when he tried to drop, immediately eliminated because there was somebody there waiting for them, and they had a numbers advantage of 3-1 in that time, and just not an enviable position for anybody to be in. And that's one of the pitfalls of defending that site, is you really have to survive that initial first push and make sure that you're not leaving the person up in Geisha completely alone.
And losing that Ella early on did have a massive influence on that round as well. I'm sure the Ella would have been able to slow down the attackers quite a bit more if she had stayed alive a bit longer. But that was that round. This is this round. We are going to see Nomads defending upstairs once again. It looks like they're going for a mostly typical Geisha hold, but I don't see a mirror window looking towards Geisha window. I'm not actually sure where the mirror windows are positioned right now. So we'll see what they do differently this round to really adapt to the way that Ronin attacked last round.
And it was a quick one from Nomads to start things off. We'll see if they don't get too overwhelmed on defense, which is exactly what happened last time. I'll have to, I guess, try to persevere on this push, but already waiting. The smoke almost losing to Chap yet again. That would have been the exact same occurrence, as it was Euphoria who got beheaded inside of B, just sitting patiently and surveying that window. To his left sits a rotate hole if need be, and we'll do some, I guess, final touch-ups, as Chap still just hanging on outside of Karaoke, waiting to see if he can possibly pick up a frag on that smoke, and that's a dangerous game for such an important operator.
Yeah, I'd like to see the smoke played a little bit safer, maybe sit over near T room, but they should know what they're doing, and they should be prepped for whatever they need to do. So
rappelling up, and not as quick of a round this time for Ronin, struggling to get inside of the actual building itself. Anime on backstairs, waiting for the jump in from 9line. His position will be revealed the moment that he hops up, though able to take out a bit of the floor with that breaching charge. A smoke being expended from Euphoria as he potentially looks to try and pressure backstairs himself, where Anime still sits. So they've got at least dual protection on a back push, should one come that way.
lots of shots and utility going out, no real damage coming in, but this push from the Ying could be the first action we really see for this round. And there it is, the knife onto Callie, and Mira on main stairs is going to get some shots put into her as well.
It's a good thing. We talk a lot about Ella's magazine, but Talon there putting it to good use. Manages to get the down onto Sharsh, but can't finish him off as Throw comes in and stops his teammate from being taken out. 9line now eliminating Anime as he had gone to pick up Sharsh, and Throw down on stairs is going to leave just the smoke left and putting in good work as 9line goes down and two of his teammates taken down. They just need to be cleaned up. Chap will do the honors of taking one down, and Billboard charging and pressuring the smoke will get the kill on him just outside of drum. Ronin right now up 3-1. That's a very nice shot from the Thatcher.
I almost didn't notice the head at first, so good work on that, especially with that reflex sight. That was it took a while for them to really get into that round. I was afraid that Ronin might have slowed down a little too much on their attack there, but in the end they just kind of reeled it all in, wrapped it all up nice and quick. They
Yeah.
carried the momentum from Talon's push into Geisha pretty well, actually.
Just took them a lot longer this time around too. It was a much quick and brisker push in round number 2 for them. Round number 4 was just as well organized, and I mean, I think a big point of that was when Ying pushed inside of Geisha, they had really no way to stop it. You could see that Calais was turned around in the corner. I believe the official phrase now is Blair Witch style, and Talon was just able to come in and secure the kill there, and then the Mira of I believe it was Throw playing on the stairs, unable to really do much. Really could have been helpful in securing the trade-off, as when Talon pushed in, there was that open hole at the top of stairs inside of Geisha, but wasn't used as successfully as it could have been. And now Nomads was able to get 1 round in the first 3, which they couldn't do against Hydra, if you recall correctly, on Wednesday, but it's still a really good start for Ronin right now, and this is exactly what I think we were going to see heading into Skyscraper with how comfortable Ronin looks on this matchup. Sharsh going for a very early lead-off kill and sees the head of the Mira and just waiting for her to peek again.
Ooh, and the Ella getting picked out very early on once again.
Wow. Just 9-line, not playing the best to start these rounds off, and just getting vanquished by Throw, and you lose your Ella, and that's a relief, as you don't really need to worry about her zipping around the map and possibly coming in on a flank. Anime eliminates Peng now, and you're going to need a really big job from the 3 remaining defenders to try to even this up as they come to blows on backstairs. Anime pushed out, and now will come right back in. Billboard looks to be pinched here as he will trade out now. And a grenade going in, and almost claims 2. Chap gets down, and now it's just Billboard and Talon, and wow, what a round from Nomads so far.
Unfortunately, it looks like Talon is pretty far away from the site, too.
He'll get 1, though, on Cali. So at least 1 member of the attack will fall. Unsure if we will see much more after that. Talon still on the rotate, gets picked off by Anime, who was watching for it, and now you mess with Bill and you get the board will have to be something we see. The Buck exchanging shots. Sharsh there at a completely different angle for the crossfire. And Billboard goes down. And oh my, Ronin on defense, not looking anywhere near as sharp as they need to be if they want this to go the distance. Still holding a lead, though, at the moment. Up 3-2.
So thankfully we didn't see Euphoria get taken out at the beginning of that round. So we did get to see the Blackbeard kind of assist with the push up onto that site. That didn't make the biggest difference because I don't think the Blackbeard really applied too much pressure. I believe it was the Buck. That grenade kill onto Peng was fantastic on backstairs there. And just there was so much pressure from every angle. I don't think Ronin was really expecting a push like that from Nomads after seeing the way that Nomads came at them before.
Yeah. And I'm not exactly certain what they're going to need to do to tighten up on their defense. Because Nomads had won previously, they have to go to a second site. The Castle Strat seems to work the best on this site, at least for slowing the pushes. The Capkin will be very interesting. This is a great site for Capkin too if you're going to bring him on this map, just because of the amount of doorways and the entry points that you're forcing people to funnel through. You're going to get probably, I know this is going to sound silly to some people because you don't really get a lot of value out of Capkin in comparison to other operators, but if you're going to bring him, this is the site to do it to get the maximum value out of those 5 trip maps.
Especially now we're seeing a lot of the meta kind of come around traps for the most part. It makes, and with the Twitch nerf recently, the Twitch drones, although we're not seeing one on the attackers, Twitch drones aren't able to really get rid of every single trap from every single operator. So you really have to pick and choose what you're going to be zapping. So those Capcan traps are a lot safer to put up now. And as long as, you know, the people that are going through these doorways don't notice them beforehand, you're pretty much guaranteed to get some good damage on them with it. And it helps your team out a lot later on. It makes it a lot easier for them to get those kills if they aren't landing their headshots.
Yes. Absolutely correct. When they start their push, similar operators to what we always see. Ronin, we've seen when they haven't been playing as well as they want to. Not only will they switch up roles, but they will have the same people playing different operators. We've seen, we've seen a different Blackbeard than Peng. We've seen a different Ashe than Nine Line. We've seen Bill play on stronger fragging operators on 3 speeds, and Talon even moving to 3 speeds too. Euphoria dives outside. Peng not able to secure the kill on that, as another rotate from Ronin comes in now, moving out of karaoke. Some pressure being put on Terrace. Callie inside a drum will be under fire from 2 angles very shortly. And beware of those Capkin traps. And I think that's something that is going to have to cross their mind, as they likely are aware that there's a Capkin on defense.
It looks like a lot of the focus is really on getting control of Terrace and Drum right now. Ying throwing those Candelas into there. It's going to be Callie, maybe. Nope, bro. Talon's just going to push in. He's going to get taken out by Callie, actually sitting on the balcony of Drum.
Ooh, that was just an oversight. How do you not look there, though? Nine Line able to come in, and Talon had been softened up by the Capkin, who, speaking of which, we'll dive outside, unfortunately right into the crosshairs of a Blackbeard, and get eliminated, though. Euphoria and Anime doing their best to keep their team in it, and will now give an advantage in favor of Nomads on defense. Throw rotates back in. He's playing currently over by Geisha, and will secure Drum to make sure that if anybody pushes, it'll take them just a tiny bit longer. Final minute now as Chap eliminates Throw, and we are in a 2v2 the final 60 seconds.
Pretty intense round so far with the trades going back and forth. Looks like the defenders are just really playing it safe now. I think that's the smart move, to just kind of sit back and wait for the attackers to walk into your line of sight.
Euphoria jumping back out again, and Chap will be able to open up that reinforced wall, but won't be able to push through it, just see through it, as Anime and Euphoria cover very similar angles, waiting to see if anybody will push. Billboard drops down to the main floor. Will likely go in through the stairs, but we'll have to hurry as he is running out of time. Chap sees one and tries to secure the kill onto Euphoria. Can't do it. He's playing a tight angle over top of those stairs, and a Capkin trap will claim its first victim as Chap rushes in, and that is an unfortunate position for him to be in. Anime, just easy to see Billboard as he tries to go in through the rotate hole created next to the castle barricade, and Nomads now actually ties it up, so a good answer to the last couple of rounds from Ronin.
I mean, Nomads is really showing up now. It looked like they were going to have a really rough time at the beginning, but so far they've answered Ronin with "we're here to stay," and it's turning out to be really interesting. Actually, a lot of very strong kills coming in from Sharsh and Anime. Chapstick up there with 8 kills for Ronin, just putting in a lot of work. But I mean, Nomads was ready for this, it seems.
Yeah, they have put in good work, and Sharsh and Anime have really woken up. You know, when it was 2-0 for Ronin, Nomads had 1 kill. And I think that really speaks to it. Was they didn't look like they were playing well in terms of just gunplay alone, let alone executing strategy. So Ronin could have a fight on their hands. Let's touch on the community vote for a second here and think what you all thought of this. You can head on over to CCS eSports on Twitter if you want to participate in our community polls. 67% thinking Ronin, while 33% taking Nomads. With these community polls, always a couple things to always unbox and really look at. Is this indicative of how popular the teams are? Is this that they think they would play well? What do you think? 67% saying Ronin and 33% saying Nomads. Is this popularity speaking? Is this strat speaking? What do you think?
I think this is, I'm sure most of it is popularity, but I'm sure that there's also a lot of people that know that Ronin has been around a lot longer than Nomads. And typically, you'll see some of the older teams are definitely able to win matches against newer teams. And people do realize that Nomads is a newer team, but for some reason, they decide to kind of undercut them a little bit when they see that Nomads is a newer team.
And a team that just keeps getting better and better. I think not to take away from Hydra, but I think people were a little surprised, at least if you take a look at the community vote. I think people were surprised that Hydra was able to win, as it was Nomads, a very heavily favored Nomads a poll, I would say. Now, Blackbeard has been focused so heavily on Skyscraper, whereas we haven't seen any Glaz. They a lot of times will inhabit a similar role, as in, when I say that, I mean you'll see a Ying and a Blackbeard, or you'll see a Ying and a Glaz. You almost never see all three in use just because you need them for specific purposes. I do like this rotate hold that is giving some pause to Nomads though right now, and they're going to constantly need to watch their 6 in order to ensure there's no run out.
It looks like Nomads is just kind of trying to get their footing around the map right now before they go for a push, which is a good adaptation. We've seen, I believe earlier we saw them kind of pushing a little bit quickly, and it didn't work out too well for them. So that's a nice adaptation. And I think they were very much more ready for this site this time.
And the other big thing, not only does 9line not get killed in the first couple seconds, he manages to get the first frag for his team with about halfway through the round. And I think that was a big issue too, is that for both of those two defenses, Ronin was fighting essentially 4v5 due to 9line going down, and he's coming back with a vengeance. He now eliminates Anime, and that's both kills for Ronin coming from the Ela.
Sharsh is going to pick off Billboard there from Terrace. Now he's going to rotate back over, support his teammate as Sledge is starting to walk in towards backstairs here. And looks like Cali is just ready for these defenders. He's just going to walk right into Karaoke and take out Peng. Sharsh is going to take out 9line downstairs on the map, actually. So that's the Ela finally going down. The Talon is going to trade off with the Blackbeard and the Ash. A double kill coming from backstairs, leaving it all down to Cali.
1v2. Manages to take out Chap, and just Talon left. Are Nomads going to clutch this one? Diffuser is downed. He'll pick him up. So Cali does have possession of that diffuser, just trying to spot out where the bandit is. His position gets revealed. Fakes the plant, but Talon is there to close it out. And Ronin, a bit of a scare for them, but they're still able to take the round, and they'll go to match point. That was a lot closer than I'm sure they wanted.
It started to go pretty south for Ronin, especially with the Sledge kind of just pushing right into sight as quickly as he did there. He kind of, it looked like they droned out. The defenders knew exactly where they were, and he was just ready to go in and take it by storm. But I think Talon coming up backstairs there and picking off 2 of them, that was a massive play by him that made all the difference in that round.
And there's still a great performance by Sharsh so far. The rest of Nomads needing to wake up just a tiny bit. Chap leading the way on his team, with Peng and Billboard being the two lower performers on Ronin. Billboard did say that he didn't play as well last week against Homeless or on Wednesday rather, against Homeless as he would have liked to have seen. So I expect a bounce back for him. So we are on match point though. Oregon awaits us if this round goes in favor of 9line, or not 9line rather, if this round goes in favor of Ronin.
I think if they were defending and it's went in favor of 9line, it would be a bit different, because we've seen when 9line gets picked off earlier, it does make it a bit harder for Ronin. So there's a little bit of, you were pretty right there if they were on defense. But I don't see this site get picked as often. Do you have any insight on this site that I might not really know about?
You almost never, ever see this site at all. It is one of the strangest choices. It's the least defendable, I would say, of any of the maps or any of the sites on this map, and for good reason. There's a lot of angles to get inside a site itself, lots of destructibility. You can clear out the top, not pretty easily, but easy enough. Throw jumps down, he'll eliminate 9line, but Chap is there waiting. That was a brazen move from the Ela. You've got one heavy fragging operator taking out another, and that was the Ash that is now off of the board for attack. And you can see there's not enough reinforcements they can make. Sharsh running the Capkin with the SASG. I am confused.
I mean, we said the Nomads is unpredictable. Talon said the Nomads is unpredictable, but this is next level. I was not expecting anything like this. And it looks like the peak is actually going to go onto Billboard. Anime is going to take him down as he's trying to challenge in Terrace here.
So the Legion manages to eliminate one. That's your Thatcher. And look at that defensive setup. A Rook, a Capkin, a Legion. You don't see this every day. And Peng just looking the wrong way. Nobody expects the roaming Rook, and Euphoria makes a statement as he'll now absorb some damage from the Type 89 of Hibana. Sprays through the barricaded door and windows as Cali jumps in and now eliminates Chap. And look at this. This is a full court press right now. Talon in a 1v4, and there are still Capkins up as well. So Cap Traps as he looks away and a C4 goes out from the captain of Sharsh. And we are off to overtime on one of the weirdest plays and weirdest setups I have ever seen in this level of play of Rainbow Six.
That I mean, if you're going to talk about a team being unpredictable, that is the perfect example. I was not expecting that in the slightest. You weren't expecting that. I don't. Ronin clearly was not expecting that. It looks like Nomads might have been practicing that quite frequently, though. Either they've done a lot of dry runs on that, or if they've just gone through in scrims and done that. But they knew exactly what they had to do, where they had to be positioned. It seemed like they were able to completely read Ronin's minds on where where they were going to be pushing in, where they were going to be looking. They had a roaming rook just come in through drum and take out a Blackbeard. How did the Blackbeard not notice that there was going to be a rook behind him? Even when he is slow walking like that, it is pretty easy for you to hear him. So massive plays coming in from Nomads, completely unpredictable, taking a round on a site that I would have never expected to see.
Yeah, I mean maybe they just didn't drone there because they weren't expecting somebody to be on that side. Maybe they did drone and the rook had been playing on stairs and pressed up. It's hard to tell, exactly where they came from. Nonetheless, overtime and look again where they're going to go. So I mean huh. Nomads pulling out the unconventional for the first site yet again. They're going to go up top because it worked for them. And I mean, if the unorthodox works, just keep going with it. That's what they're going to do.
I mean, it's smart by them. They're confident in what they're doing, and it's one of the big things in this game. So you really need to be confident. Peng getting the first pick on the throw there is going to make quite the difference in this round.
Yeah, throw off the board. That's the Ella. What is with the Ella getting picked so early? We haven't really seen a menacing roam game except for 1 or 2 rounds. The one that comes to mind was when Nineline was able to get those 2 kills to secure what would have been the 4th round winner, or the 4th round won by Ronin, of course, and not able to get maximum value out of your roaming 3 speeds.
It's pretty important that you don't lose those roamers so early too, because so much ground being given to the attackers can cause a massive disadvantage unless you have someone that knows where to flank from. It looks like Cali might be getting ready to go for a pretty big flank here.
Peg now trying to see who is inside of Drum. They'll take out the cap traps very smartly this time around. Did some significant damage previously, and I mean, they are a menace. You don't want to be you don't want your late push to be stopped dead in its tracks. As you can see that Chap was blown up by that cap trap last time, and Cali still on the roam now, pushing up through back stairs, and with all of Ronin, I guess, sequestered in the map just by Drum. Could be a big play for the Bandit.
He's just kind of chilling. He's waiting. I know one of the things that you hate is when people go frag hunting. I hate it too. But Cali's actually going to get a pick onto Billboard there from the west side of the map.
So that flank worked. He manages to take out one. The Thatcher goes down. Nineline gets eliminated as Anime vaults outside of the window in exhibition, and that is going to give a numbers advantage to Nomads. This must be worrying for Ronin, as this was their matchup. They don't want to go down, and they have not looked as good on defense as they have on attack. So it's very important, I would think, for them to win this, because they're only going to get one crack at defense, period. And you don't really want to be going into it facing match point, which Nomads have actually not had match point so far at all. In final 40 seconds now, as Ronin just looks completely lost.
I'm lost. I can't blame them for being lost. I mean, Nomads is just ridiculous right now.
Just you can see the wide peak as the smokes will go down, and now Candelas get tossed out too. No cap trap on that door, so Talon can just go right in, hits an Elamine, gonna go through another door, and the Capcan trap goes off as Anime takes out Chap, and you can see Euphoria prone down below. The shield will break of the Blackbeard, but man, oh man, Nomads just waiting for the storm to come and beating it back. There was zero chance there whatsoever for Ronin in those final dying seconds of the round, and now Nomads on match point.
Sitting under the desk. Talon just kind
waiting.
of walked right past it. That patience is key, because at any point, one of the other attackers could have just walked up behind Talon, not noticed him, and then he would have been able to get the double kill. The Blackbeard did wait a little bit before going in, and that almost cost I'm not sure. Did the no? It was Castle who was sitting on the desk, and Castle didn't go down.
Mhm.
But that crossfire from the Jaeger just kind of cleaning up that round, very nice. But that's just, I mean, Nomads is just doing things that I would never imagine I would see in a game like this, and it's paying off beautifully for them. I mean, Ronin isn't prepared for it either, and I think that's one of the big reasons that I think Nomads is getting these rounds. Is just the shock factor hitting Ronin.
And they do run unconventional plays. You know, they specifically said that Sharsh as a whole is just a player that can, you know, do unpredictable things. I don't know how many times we need to say that, but it keeps being seen round after round after round. And now on Ash, just probably doing Ash things. A site that Ronin has held successfully only twice. So half of their defenses have been successful on this site, um, but they also lost this site once as well. Couple keys to success for them when holding this site. Number one, keep your roam game at least close enough to site that you're not getting picked off. I'm looking specifically at Nine Line and his performance. And then most importantly, slow them down when they make their first initial push. You know, the couple times Nomads was able to get right in the board, right inside, and take one off the board, and they'll do that here now as well. It's Peng, and not ideal as now Nine Line, who is in a similar position downstairs, could potentially capitalize on a late flank, but you've already lost one of your, it looked like a site player. And now two, as Talon goes for the run out and Euphoria there waiting. Oh boy, Nomads in great position to end this right here, right now.
And it looks like Sharsh has his drone downstairs, so they're gonna kind of figure out where that Ella is. And once they know that there's, it looks like only the Mira on site. So Valkyrie is kind of off site over by Drum, and then Ella is downstairs. If Nomads takes advantage of this, then it's gonna go completely one-sided for the rest of this round.
You've lost one site player, one roamer. Nine Line still there. He could be a significant difference maker. He's taken down the Buck, and the Blackbeard has a very small amount of health as well. Nine Line uses one of those Elemines to make sure that if somebody is there, he knows. And yes, indeed, it gets triggered. Sharsh poised on main stairs for a run up. He's also got the drum cutoff held pretty well, and he'll manage to eliminate Billboard. And now Nine Line, who is off site, is going to have to get back on. It's putting a lot of pressure on Chap inside of Geisha, who's now going to be under fire. That's good joint effort. Nine Line goes down, and it's all up to Chap. 5v1. That's it. Throw cleans up, and Ronin loses on their map, Nomads, after being down at one point 3-1. Storm back and take it 6-4. That is a very impressive showing from a very impressive young team.
I am at a loss for words. I mean, Nomads took us by storm there, just
Stunned.
winning. I'm.
You sound like you're
It's
stunned.
crazy. I am definitely stunned.
Unless your
Sharsh and
microphone just cut
Anime.
out.
Oh, wait, can you hear me or not?
So we'll see if we're going to take a break or not. Ty, how do you feel about a break?
I feel like if you want a break, we'll take a break.
Is my mic working now for you? Oh, Discord just kind of flashed a bunch of
Discord
red lights.
crashed for me. So
Yeah, it just flashed a bunch of red lights for me for a second. So
perfect.
but I
So
believe
sorry
we are
about that.
back.
Discord crashed. So we are now back and live, and you should be able to hear us. Great job. We're just going to power right through. So a lot to do is the final is going to be a best of 5. So we're going to see about a side switch and then Oregon. Now, Skyscraper is a matchup where teams usually have their set strategies for and can execute upon, but Oregon is a map where you can be a bit more free flowing. If your strats don't really work on Oregon, depending on the site, you can still kind of hack it. A bit of a difference with a map like Skyscraper or say Coastline. What are you going to be looking most for Oregon? Crazy when we take a look at the way that these two teams just played.
I think Oregon is going to be more about the gunfights in the end. Both of it's Oregon. It's a map that everyone knows. Everybody has their strats for. Everybody flexes around what they need to do. Adaptation is very rapid on this map, with teams knowing exactly how they need to adjust and when they need to adjust. So I think it's going to come down to which team really is able to win those gunfights faster and get onto site a little bit faster. Maybe get the diffuser down and hold that. It's going to come down to, I think, speed in the end.
That is a very, very good point. Ronin does look to be ready to start on Oregon, just waiting on on actual sides before we launch in. And there we go. So Ronin is going to defend first, which they have not looked as proficient on defense, but defending on Oregon is an entirely different ball game because you have one of the most defendable sites in the game, which is the laundry room downstairs, which is where I would assume Ronin is going to go first. But the beauty of Oregon is that you can also start on the second floor up in kids' dorms. That's not that outside of the ordinary. First initial blush, laundry room and supply room are where we're going to go, and that is not a surprise at all.
Yeah, it's going to be a pretty typical setup too, based on the mirror, bringing the Mira and the smoke. So they're probably going to have the Mira sitting inside of that closet, watching for the main, or I mean the Mira in the closet with smoke playing that mirror window, I should say. That's the phrase I was going for there. And then you're probably gonna have the Ella and the Bandit kind of hanging around in meeting hall, possibly up in armory bedroom area, floating around up there, just trying to waste as much time as possible. But it's one of the things about this map is it's a lot. It's, in my opinion, it's a bit harder to be really unpredictable. You could go rear stage. That's not going to work out. I don't think it's ever a good idea to really try to be that unpredictable. You could also go dining in kitchen, which is another site that I wouldn't pick, but you never know with Nomads. I mean, I wouldn't pick that site that they picked on Skyscraper either, and they picked it and they won it. So I think Ronin really needs to be ready. Ronin really needs to be thinking, what would I never do? And then that's probably what Nomads is going to do.
The big thing for me and the biggest issue that Ronin has had is their roamers have been taken out very quickly every single time. That means that is especially problematic on Oregon, where your roam game is vital. Because if you lose your two roamers very early on, then you're in a lot of trouble. And speaking of trouble, Sharsh having some of it trying to get that cam all the way down in Junkyard.
Sharsh.
Oh, my apologies, not Junkyard. That was the one, Junkyard, the other camera. I apologize that I did not get my sights correctly.
It happens to the best of us. So Sharsh is just going to start charging in here towards the Blitz, or the Bandit that's inside a kitchen. That's 9line. So one thing that I want to say is 9line is now on Bandit instead of Ella. We'll see if Chapstick being on the Ella is something that makes a bit of a difference in how they're able to keep that alive. And Chap's actually going to get the first kill onto Sharsh, downing him inside of that bathroom and then meleeing him, I'm assuming.
You see Bill absorbing some damage, but he gets the better of Callie. They were engaged in a war of words with one another inside a meeting hall where the strong, aggressive off-site play, I wouldn't consider this roaming. This is aggressive site because you can get back to site very quickly. Doing a good job of holding them at bay. Interesting to not see a Ying and a Glaz mixed together. They have been a very strong pairing on this site. Same with Capitao as well. But if I recall correctly, Nomads didn't run a Capitao when they played Oregon last time either. Throw gonna get the very first kill for his team as he eliminates Chap, who is now playing the Ella. So you have Billboard on Mira rather than Chap, which are some of the changes that we do see Ronin have due to the flexibility of their operators. And Euphoria inside a classroom going to take some life away from 9line, who manages to get away safely. They're eliminating Billboard. So now 3v3. It was a strong early push from Ronin, but right now, I think that the right adjustments were made from Nomads to get them into position and apply the pressure where needed. Now they're going to have just under a minute to be able to take the site because they have flushed the roamers out. First smoke is going to go down. It's a touch early, but that's okay, as you're now prompting them to have to go back up top to the hatch. A smart move. As well, you can potentially get 9line to come up and rotate through meeting now, too, if they so choose.
Smoke canister is going to go down. There's less than 30 seconds now, but all smoke canisters have been expended. Oh no, there's goes the third one. I got confused because there was a smoke grenade that went off. I thought the smoke canister had gone off as well. Euphoria is going to get the plant over behind these baskets now. Talon trying to take him out, but it's not going to happen. Castle spraying down is going to stop him. So it is a 3v2. Diffuser is downed. Glaz is going to grab that and try to get the smoke, but he's not going to get the shots off. 3 seconds left. Throw takes out 9line. Glaz is going to drop down and get taken out by Peng, and the defenders are going to take round 1.
Very good job from Ronin to hang on after Nomads made the right calls on changing their operators' positions and putting the pressure needed onto Meeting Hall. Once they were able to dislodge Meeting, the rest of it came a little easy for them. And Throw had especially a banner round, as you can see. not just in terms of fragging potential, but the constant pressure that he was exerting on meeting, just simply by being near Classroom and the top of hatch meant that there was nobody from Ronin who could push out without having to directly challenge the attacking team. And even if he had gotten away with 0 frags, which he didn't, he got 3 of them, but even if he had gotten away with 0 frags, he still did a very good job of executing his role correctly.
And that brings me back to what you were mentioning before, or what I had mentioned before, about frag hunting. It's not necessarily the way to go. You don't want to throw your life away to go chasing kills when just to kind of like buff your stats or whatever you feel like doing. Sometimes all you need to do is sit tight and wait. Looks like a pretty standard setup is going to be coming in from Nomads on this basement site. You do see that's the exact same operator lineup, at least, that we saw coming out from Ronin. Mirror window is actually going to be on the left wall inside of that closet now instead of the right wall. We'll see if they're able to use that to their advantage a little bit. But I think Ronin is a little bit more prepared on this map because it is a bit harder for Nomads to be as unpredictable as they were on Skyscraper.
They're going to opt to go for the Mira on the left-hand side rather than the right-hand side. That right there is just a little bit of a change that you don't see all that often. Throw getting very bold, jumps outside, takes out 9line, and I don't know what it is with 9line, but he just seems to be cursed as he keeps dying so early on, no matter what. That's your Ash off the board. That is some fragging potential down, and those, especially on this map, those breaching charges will be missed because of the way that the stairs and the barbed wire usually play out. You're very susceptible to getting pushed if you have to engage with that barbed wire closer than, say, a frag grenade or a breaching charge, or breaching round, rather, from Ash can help you with.
It looks like a lot of focus on the big tower now after that scare with Throw running out and taking out 9lines. You know, the roamers, you only got 1 kill, but you're wasting so much time for the attackers that it's an all-around fantastic play to make. It's high risk, but extremely high reward.
One Elamine goes off to Bill, and that was the Elamine that you had seen that Throw had tossed up. And now manages to get away safely. So look at this. This is a very successful roam game. You've now had them, or rather one person really, solely roam. And that was the Ella who was able to delay, get a kill, and then delay further. So excellent job from Throw, who has had a heck of a game thus far. And now Ronin will start to begin their push. Or will begin their push, rather. Soft meeting all hatches. Might confuse them a little bit, but waiting to see as the bottom floor of box has been completely shot out. And they'll assemble upstairs in meeting hall to begin getting the hatches and then drop.
It looks like a lot of focus is actually towards the meeting hall. It looks like the defenders are watching for this main hatch, but the attackers are all over near meeting, and Billboard's going to take out Throw as Thermite is actually going to blow in from construction, giving another angle for Ronin to push in from. Shots going back and forth. Peng taking down Anime with a nice headshot there, putting it to a 4v3. Drones still going in there. It looks like the Mira is in garage now. A pretty unexpected spot to see a Mira in, but I'm pretty sure Talon knows that Sharsha is there, and he's just kind of getting ready for it. Shots going back and forth. The C4 coming out, not going to go far enough to really do any damage. But Peng's Claymore is going to take out Sharsh as Sharsh was trying to push in and get a little aggressive there. A grenade coming out from Talon as Callie takes out Chap, putting it to a 2v3. Euphoria taking out Billboard, and Peng taking out Euphoria. It is all down to Callie now as the attackers are pushing in from the rear.
They have access to defuse. It will go down in the corner, and as Callie went to challenge up, Talon was there holding the hard angle. And a very good job from Ronin once again. This was very similar to what we just saw from Nomads, but a bit of a role reversal is that you had Ronin just sticking around and waiting and holding those positions, especially able to recover after being knocked on their heels so soon by Throw. Peng also cannot stress how good of a game he is having so far, at least. Did not have the greatest of matches on Skyscraper, so look for him to bounce back. The real story for me is going to be, is 9line going to keep getting executed so quickly in every single round? Because that's it's not ideal. So
thankfully the rest of his team has been able to kind of cover for it afterwards so far on this map. At least on Skyscraper was a much different story, but so far in Oregon we have seen even when 9line does get taken out a little early, it hasn't really been too costly for Ronin. The other players know exactly what they need to do to really fill in that gap. And once again, we are not going to see 9line on the Ella. He's going to be on Jaeger this time. He was on Bandit, I believe, for their first defending round. It is going to be Dorms main hall and Kids Dorms that's being held by Ronin, with that Mira in Kids Dorms and another Mira at the top of White. And it looks like they've already opened up that closet. They've put some holes into that closet wall there, giving them a little bit of the ability to really just kind of look in there and shoot people down if they need to. And they're ready to really hold for a push from Master. It looks like it's what they're expecting.
They just completely give up closet, which I think is fascinating. We don't see that all that often. And I know that Ronin has been experimenting with some strats that we don't see other teams use. I mean, you could argue that we don't see them used because they're not effective, or you could say that we don't see them used just because teams aren't willing to make that try to make it work. I don't know how much that latter is the question, but holding up in kitchen with no mirror window and then completely giving up the closet of Master seems like a very suspect choice, and does appear to be a situation where a very quick rush from Nomads could completely screw over any real defense that we could have at a Ronin. Take a look at Sharsh running the fuse as well. Let's talk about things that don't really happen all that often. And a fuse could be potentially dispatched to completely clear out kids, but I don't know. Crazy, what are your thoughts on that? You think that a fuse is a valuable pick on that site, or do you think that you might want to usually run something else?
It can be a valuable pick if things like that don't happen. They don't have the castle barricades on there, but I guess he did get that mirror window open, so that's a little bit of a benefit. But I mean, his charge got shot immediately. He took some damage there, and he wasn't able to do too much except for open the mirror window. So I mean, it can be a nice pick, but it's risky. And then with Sharsh, he was doing so well on the Ash before, and then you decide to take him off of the Ash. So I mean, we haven't seen him play Ash yet. He was playing Blitz for their first round, and now he's playing Fuse. So this is coming into back to that unpredictability though that we always see from Nomads.
A good job, even though Cali is the only one that is down, a good job so far from Nomads to pressure the site, but even better as Ronin right now trying to hold them off. Anime loses that rifle shield, but none of his health in the process, able to cleanly eliminate the Mira, leaving just Peng now in kitchen. The thing is, Peng knows that there's at least one there. Another flash goes in. Both will miss. Peeks around the corner, goes for a pre-fire, cannot connect. Fires upwards, not expecting the Blackbeard on his belly. Sharsh and Anime, a quick volley as Euphoria now gets in on the action. As 9line pressures, it's Euphoria just sitting on that balcony waiting. And Nomads, a very strong round. Only had to lose Cali to make it work. Still in favor of Ronin right now, up 2-1, but Nomads will get their first.
There is no amount of momentum that you could have that can stop Nomads from taking at least one round. It doesn't seem like it really gets inside of their heads, as you'll see with some other teams. Some newer teams will get really discouraged when things start going south, but with Nomads, they just are always ready to bounce back when they need to, and taking that round could give them a little bit of the momentum that they're going to need to really take this map. But even if they do lose this map, we are going to see map 3, which I believe is Coastline. Could be wrong. I actually don't have that pulled up right now.
Coastline is map number 3. Yes, it will be the tiebreaker.
Okay, so I mean, we'll see if Nomads is able to take it back on this round, if they're able to adapt their defense the way that they need to defend downstairs. I think they were able to gauge a little bit of how Ronin likes to attack this site and maybe change up a thing here and there. Maybe Throw won't go for that run out and take out 9line again. Maybe he will. Who knows? It's Nomads. It's impossible to know.
And that's part of what makes them so entertaining to watch too, is that they are able to just make these complete and, I guess, necessary changes. And it really just shakes things up. They'll go downstairs right now. Meeting hall is still, all the hatches in Meeting hall and Addict are completely soft. I'm very interested to know how Nomads is going to deal with that. Likely they will open at least one of those hatches for easy rotate. 9line just goes for a pre-fire inside just in case he wants to catch somebody. And Sharsh, oh no, takes out Euphoria. and that was likely the smoke rotating and just eats the end of that compact shotgun that Mira carries around in her pocket.
Sharsh is the one that killed Euphoria before too.
Yep. And it was the Blackbeard to start things off. They lost that round though, so it wasn't a beneficial sacrifice by any means.
No, but I guess you could say history does tend to repeat itself. So if we do go to a map 3, I'm expecting another team kill from Sharsh on Euphoria, unfortunately. But it looks like Ronin is getting ready to just kind of get their attack underway, moving in where they're able to, and just taking as much ground as possible.
Now Talon pressuring inside of Meeting Hall. I'm not sure if I agree with how Nomads went light on Meeting right now. This, Throw did a great job last time, but you'd see that he was easily beatable. Now Anime spies the buck, can't connect. They will tussle, but not much else as Talon jumps up and gets the aid of his teammate. The exothermic charge will blow rear stage, and that is Throw pre-firing as he smartly drops back to site. And that smoke being down will hurt them in the long run, but more than that, it's the body count. They are trailing in a 3v5 at the moment.
But Sharsh doing something out of the ordinary, just kind of sitting in this corner here. 9line, if he does not win this fight, it could be costly, but Sharsh is going to go for the knife, and he's going to get taken down by 9line, putting it to a 5v2. Massive favor of Ronin right now, as it looks like Throw is stuck over by... Oh no, he's actually going to move back towards Electric, getting some shots onto him from Talon. He's pretty low on health, and Callie is still on site as well. And it looks, oh, yep, Throw's been down, so the shots are going to come out from Peng to try to finish it off. It looks like Callie is rotated into support, but there's going to be 3 of them over in that direction, and Peng is going to finish it up by taking out Callie with the pistol. Finish up the round, I should say, not the match.
I don't know how Peng didn't get a kill through that scaffolding. It was a great shot there to finish things off. And once again, very swift. I think the biggest issue for Nomads there, outside of killing the smoke, was also the fact that they didn't have as much pressure on Meeting as they needed. They had Anime playing upstairs, but I mean, you're using a pulse in attic of Meeting. I honestly think that you could have employed that pulse a little bit better than Anime had him played. Maybe even keep swap spots, so you have Anime playing rear stage, and then you have the Ella of Throw up top. But those are changes that I'm sure that they can think whether they want to make as they review the VOD footage. We find that Ronin is back up 3-1. This is where they were in Skyscraper, yet they still lost. So, but they moved to defense on a site that is defendable for them, and if they do this, we could be on match point very quickly.
We do have Sharsh back on that blitz. We saw him on the blitz when they attacked the site the first time. Not sure if it's the smartest choice. He did get a melee kill into Callie, I believe. Or not, wow, Callie's on his team. What am I saying? Chapstick. The C's kind of tossed me off there. But we'll see if they're able to do anything a little bit differently this time to really make sure that they're able to reach site before they start losing a lot of their players.
Yeah. Final castle work being done, and always interesting to me to see how long this the setup can take. Glaz can shoot through that barricade at the front doors of Oregon. They've used a lot of those barricades just on rotates into the actual buildings. That is interesting that you're going to use the castle barricades specifically for the for entry, because you'd figure that one would be lost pretty quickly. And look at that, it doesn't even take 30 seconds. You haven't really slowed them down at all. A lot of times you would use it in Meeting for good measure to try and stop a push in for Meeting. Chap's going to get first kill on the Callie, and that was the Sledge who was pushing in. And Chap just positioned over in the west end of Oregon, playing out of the bathrooms and inside of Dining Hall as well.
And it looks like the attack has kind of been slowed down sufficiently with that first kill going off. But they do have the angle on that hatch to look towards the laundry room there, in the little dark corner, as some people might call it. But Chapstick is just kind of sitting in kitchen, just patiently waiting there.
I like this blitz play. This is one of the very few sites where I think you get an awful lot out of running a blitz. It was Julio from Black Dragons who I see use it the most. I have no clue why whatsoever. The blitz turnaround billboard inside a Meeting too, as Throw gets the first kill for his team. But as Talon joins in, it's going to leave just Euphoria, who had perished due to his own team in the last round, So this is going to be the first real opportunity we see. He sees the head of Ella poke around that doorway in meeting hall, just waiting. A bit of an odd look given the way that the destruction has gone on that wall just outside of classroom to actually get a full picture of where he's looking. But Euphoria just going to wait. And this is ultimate round of patience as he sets up a tent because he's currently camping.
Just as you said that, he decides he's going to move outside of classroom, try to get a better angle, figure out what's going on in there. This is going to be a rough one for him to try to come back with. I'm not certain that he can do it, but this is Nomads. Unpredictable in the way they play and unpredictable on whether or not they will win a round. But this is not looking in his favor. He's starting to move towards the stairwell. I think he grabbed the diffuser there. So oh no, the diffuser's on the stairwell. Sorry, I thought he had walked over already. He's moving down the stairwell here. The smoke is still sitting in that closet, so he can deny the plant very easily. And then I'm sure the rest of the defenders will just collapse on Euphoria in the most terrifying way possible once the diffuser starts to go down, if it does.
15 seconds remaining.
Final push. Euphoria comes in. That Mira window going to be providing a lot of opportunity for Ronin to do what just happened. Talon just needs to wait for the peak. Doesn't even need to use that toxic babe. Obliterates her. And that was a very good opening salvo from Ronin. It was followed up on, and Nomads just looked completely unable to meet that aggression. And despite a really good performance from a couple members of Nomads, this has 100% been Ronin's matchup. Strange that they're playing better on the map that they didn't pick, but that's something that we've seen an awful lot of in game as well, where you often get confused as to why people pick certain maps when they end up just getting handed the L. Ronin on match point in round number 6.
Sometimes I think what might play into that a little bit is the confidence. You might be more confident on the map that you picked, and therefore you might make some decisions that are just a little too confident, and it doesn't work out, and then things kind of go south from there. So that might kind of play into it, but at the same time, it might not. But what we do see though is Ronin not losing that position that they were in before, where it was 1-3, and then Nomads decided to come back for it. So Ronin on match point now is going to be attacking while Nomads is defending downstairs. And we haven't seen Nomads win this defense downstairs, unless I'm wrong about that. I'm trying to remember.
If I remember correctly, Nomad's win came upstairs when they were attacking. So yes, they have not successfully won the basement.
So they really need to kind of kick it up a notch if they want to keep this map going further. But Sharsh going for the spawn peak with that K1A from Vigil, getting a little bit of damage onto Peng, but that's it before he decides to fall back from that. And Ronin's just going to start droning everything out and trying to get themselves into the position they want to be in.
You think they're going to play aggressive to try and knock off Nomads quickly, or do you think that because they're on match point, they're going to play with more hesitancy?
I think Ronin is gonna, looks like they're actually being incredibly aggressive. Chapstick pushing straight into sight, making sure it's clear. It looks like they droned it out, saw that no one was there, and decided to just kind of rush right in. Anime is going to take out Billboard as Throw rotates back to sight. Ash watching that hallway, and Diffuser is going to go down.
Oh man, Throw there to catch one as Chap had a very good round. And now another from Throw. He'll take out 9line as Talon off screen eliminates Anime, and Throw shoots up the corpse. He has next to no health, but with the diffuser being down, he's got his work cut out for him. Sharsh from above eliminates Talon, and this aggressiveness as Peng eliminates Throw. He just needs to hold on and play time. Diffuser under halfway, and Peng spies the last member. It's Sharsh. Peng will take it, and Ronin grab map number 2. And that'll send us to Coastline for the tiebreaker. Wow. Ronin almost completely tossed that away.
My jaw hit the floor and my heart started racing. I thought that Nomads was going to be able to take that round back from the grave, but in the end, Ronin did clean it up pretty nicely there. So we are going to see map 3 with Pang up top with 9 kills, 1 death. Throw on top for his team with 7 kills and 4 deaths.
I am very surprised that that's the way it went. I don't think we're going to toss to a break. As it is the tiebreaker, we will need a coin flip. We'll see if the teams need a break. I am good to keep going. So we will just we will trudge along and see if there will be any changes made to the sides. What's the main takeaway on that? So that was more definitive a win for Ronin than Skyscraper was for Nomads. Advantage in their favor just of rounds 1 in this series. At Coastline is a completely different ballgame.
I have to say, I'm incredibly surprised that that win was so definitive in favor of Ronins. They took it by storm, and it was impossible for Nomads to really answer, especially with that aggression at the end there. I mean, Ronin was ready to shut that map up and move on to the next one. And I mean, after seeing Skyscraper, I figured we would see a much closer map once again on Oregon. Considering Ronin is so experienced on Skyscraper, and it's one of their favorite maps to play, I believe. Uh, I'm surprised. I mean, this is not something I was expecting in the slightest. That map went by incredibly quick. We're getting ready to move into the third map now. This is going to be a long night, folks. Don't forget, we do still have a best of five that's going to be coming up after this too.
It's hard to preserve your vocal cords, because that was quite an exciting, finish there. And who boy, Coastline is always a good show. I always enjoy watching Coastline for a couple reasons. Number 1, we don't see it as often as other maps. Second reason, the fact that every single site usually will see play in a series. Third reason, it's going to it almost always plays out differently depending on the teams that are competing. And it's so fun. I like Coastline. I'm a big Coastline fan. I always enjoy seeing it. We were in this position where I remember when Coastline was first introduced when I was casting for CCS way back at the start. And we were always like, oh, are we going to see a Coastline? Because it was like this kind of this troll niche pick where you'd see it and you'd be like, ah, they picked Coastline. How funny. But I think we're actually approaching a situation now where Coastline is a matchup that really shows which team is more prepared for the match. You need strats. You need to be able to move quickly. It's a big map for what you need to accomplish. The destructibility is perfect for what a lot of teams are trying to do. And once again, I cannot stress enough how great it is that all 4 of those sites, you can run at least one strat on each site that will give the defenders an advantage over the attackers, and that is really, really wonderful.
Yeah, it was one of those ranked styled maps early on where you wouldn't see any specific strats developed by any of the teams. We would see. I remember Most Wanted was one of those teams that would pick it every now and then. They would like to play on there pretty frequently, and it's taken a little while, but it's definitely become one of those maps that teams do favor. I believe we saw Ronin play it in the quarterfinals. I want to say. Um, and they did take that map. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure.
I honestly can't quite recall myself. But Nomads look like they're going to start on defense and they can really go anywhere. We're getting to a point now where we're not seeing the very first defense be bedroom and penthouse or penthouse and theater the same way it used to. You almost always see teams competing on that site and then picking one of the others, be it Sunrise or Blue Bar, be it, Kitchen or be it Hookah as your secondary site. Now we've seen teams start with hookah. We've seen teams start with the bars on the main floor to set a pace and a tone for the match itself. And it's been great. And I expect that with both of these teams and the unpredictability that they bring and how strat heavy Ronin can be, I'm imagining Billboard sitting there and just like pulling this like tome out and just like, all right, boys, execute strategy 36 on Sunrise Bar. And that's how they're gonna start when they move to defense. Can you tell I get really excited about this map. Anyway, we have Nomad starting on defense, and we'll load into Coastline for what will be our final map for third place. Winner takes third.
I mean, this matchup is not going the full distance. It did go pretty far on Skyscraper. Oregon was a bit of a shutout, but we are on the third map, Coastline, and I have to agree, this is a very fun map to watch, to play, everything. We are going to see Hookah and Billiards being the first side that's going to be defended by Nomads. Pretty typical pick. Often you'll try to defend upstairs sites before you have to defend downstairs sites because even when you're defending downstairs, most of the time you're going to have to defend upstairs as well. We are going to see there's no Mira coming out this time. I know some teams will tend to have a Mira over near the blue stairs there. It gives you a little bit of cover you can duck behind. So you can just kind of like pop up and pick people off when they go behind that couch inside of Hookah. We aren't going to see that from Nomads. But they do have the Valkyrie, which we saw on Skyscraper, I believe, from Ronin. But I don't think I've seen Nomads pull out the Valkyrie just yet.
No, there's been a lot of we've seen a lot of Valkyrie from Ronin, but yeah, nothing from Nomads. See, look at this. They're gonna start on Hookah Billiards, which is wonderful, and it'll give us a good showing. And I mean, the cool thing about Coastline is that you can basically run a composition that's going to work no matter what. Yeah, there's gonna be more optimal picks. You're gonna want you're gonna want a Glaz on some sites. You're gonna want a Ying on other sites. In this case right now, you know, you've got a good composition that can just bust right in and take them all out.
And there can be quite a bit of vertical play here. I'm pretty sure Buck can get in on Sunrise Bar and kind of open up from below to try to flush someone out that might be playing inside of Hookah. But he is just going to kind of float around downstairs. It looks like they're just gaining as much ground as possible right now. Talon did, I think he might have spotted someone through that hole in the floor, but it could just be the outlines messing with my vision. But they're just gaining all the ground that they want, and that's what you want to do to start off this map. It's just gain ground.
They're already in. Now pressure from below. Another thing too with Coastline is that right here, you don't see a lot of this, and what great work as Talon gets his kill snaked from Chap, who 5 shots on that Twitch drone. Well, you better make them count. And I know a lot of people said, well, RIP in peace, the ability for a Twitch drone to take out one of the defenders. But, well, would you look at that? Chap still makes it work. And a great job getting droned in for Talon as Anime gets eliminated right off the bat. You see that Euphoria play, or Cali rather, playing on stairs with that ACOG. Good position for him. As Throw on the roam eliminates Talon, he'll now hustle through security to try to get back to those stairs, white stairs, and go back up towards Penthouse. 9 line now back down in Blue Bar. You've seen one has been downed. And they'll get picked back up as Sharsh will come back with 50 HP.
It looks like the action was going to be starting pretty early in the round there, but it has slowed down a little bit. We are able to catch our breath now, thankfully. Some rounds you're not going to see that. Everything is just going to happen back to back. Chapstick has moved into Aquarium. He's watching that south hallway. 9 line still downstairs, or no. Am I seeing this correctly? Did I just...
9 line is downstairs, still inside an office, has not moved from his position. EMPs go off. That'll disable their electronics as Throw and Sharsh 2 for 2. They eliminate Chap and Peng. It's all up to the Ash and the Hibana of Ronin as they face a deficit. And Sharsh, having been picked up, he makes his impact as he gets a frag. The L-Mine goes off, and Callie knows exactly when to push in, and Bill tries to take out one on the rotate. Can't secure that kill. Still full health, but will have to fight through the entire team in the next 20 seconds, or else Nomads will claim round number 1. He sees the head of the Rook. Can't deal with him. Sharsh playing tight in the room by the corner. Jumps in on the action, and Billboard goes down. And that was a good answer after they lost Anime for all of Nomads to stick around and just hang on. And they are now only 4 rounds away from 3rd place.
It looked like Billboard started to feel the music flowing through his body there. He was just dancing all around trying to avoid those shots. But in the end, it just didn't work out for him. So a very strong start from Nomads taking that first round.
Good job overall. And Chap credited with the only kill because of the Twitch drone. So now we're going to see a fuse once again, or are we? Sharsh will switch off to the Twitch. It did look like we were going to have another fuse play. Now, unsurprising because they have ran a fuse before, though it wasn't very valuable. There were some quick some shots that were made through the window of kids' dorms when we were on Oregon, in which the fuse got taken out through. A more typical defense for Ronin, they'll start with penthouse and theater, or master bedroom and projector, depending on the parlance that you use for these sites. On attack, you've got everything you really need to try and open this site up. You've got a sledge to take care of those walls, and it could play inside of Hall of Fame. You've got a thermite to take out the wall where Chap currently is, just between VIP and bedroom. And then, of course, you've got the Twitch drone to take care of those bandit batteries that Talon will likely set down. But here's the interesting thing with how limited the shots are on that Twitch drone. You figure that a Thatcher would be better use on this. You think Sharsh picks that Twitch drone because of the gun rather than having an L85 taking the F2?
I mean, the Twitch could be also for the mirror windows. Typically, you'll see a lot of mirror plays on this site. You might see a mirror window. I know one was watching that hallway next to theater, but I think sometimes you'll see one kind of looking between the sites. You can contest a big window using a mirror window there. And sometimes a Twitch drone can be essential for taking out those mirror windows and getting those opened up, giving you more angles to hold against the defenders. But Throw is actually already pushing in south hallway here. It was kind of a risky move from Talon to push out into the hallway like that.
Risky moves have been the, I guess, like the story between these two teams too. We've seen some runouts that have worked, some runouts that haven't. Throw already firmly inside. Still some rotates going on, and we're going to see a late Mira. It's taking a minute, but that setup will happen. Doesn't look like Talon has set any of those bandit batteries. One of the downsides as 9line claims his first victim. That's the Thermite of Anime, and you know that it's up to Cali to open up that window, but or rather open up that wall in the bedroom, but currently sitting inside of luggage, not really in a position to capitalize on that. They'll have the sledge up on the window. That's Young's window. That's where he was so good on Blackbeard, just on bedroom window. We call it Young's window. Can we make that a thing? They'll rappel back up and likely now get the hatch just above bathroom, and that is more typical of where you'll see the sledge.
And I think what it's coming down to right now is Nomads is just trying to open up as many things as possible. This is one thing. Ooh, this is going to be a little bit of a fight between 9line and Cali. Cali's going to come out on top with no shots being put onto him from 9line. But there comes some more shots from below as Peng is going to take him out, putting it to a 4v3. But as I was saying, we've seen Talon, who is playing right now, we've seen him complain a lot or say a lot how, you know, when you're attacking, just open up everything. Give yourself more angles to look through and give the defenders more angles to have to try to cover. Looks like Nomads
it can work against you, though. That's one thing to keep in mind. If you open all those up, it does give you that opportunity, but also it's not a mirror. It does work two ways, so find yourself in a position where you could potentially get punished for opening all of that up.
And it looks like Peng is going to be fighting with the Ash here. Some damage going on Throw. Throw is going to get down and finished off by Peng. It's now a 4v2, massively in favor of Ronin.
Surprised he didn't take out the Ash sooner. That's going to leave just Sharsh and Euphoria. This could be a very even matchup between both of these teams as Ronin looks poised to win their first round. 2 smokes go out from Chap. Still should be 1 left by my count. And there it goes. Sounds like he takes it. The F2 tears through that wall, but can't find a victim. The large glowing fluorescent head of Peng is spotted, but not able to be capitalized on. Euphoria takes out 1 for being refragged by Peng, and that's all they need. Peng has come alive since that first match on Skyscraper, and it has been a major boon for his team. Ronin answers back, and they are all tied up on Coastline. Now, since Nomads won on Hookah, do you think they go for a site such as Sunrise, or do you think as they've locked in right now, they'll stick with Penthouse Theater?
I could see them sticking with Penthouse and Theater because it's hard to play 2 floors against a team like Ronin. I think that's one of the reasons that they kind of stayed up top for the most part on Skyscraper, with the exception of that bedroom and bathroom hold that they had. But they don't really want to have to hold upstairs as well as downstairs, so I could see why they would want to stick with Penthouse and Theater and Hookah and Billiards. Those are 2 sites that are a lot safer to pick. And I think that Nomads isn't really going for some of those riskier site picks that they went for on Skyscraper. We saw in Oregon, they didn't go for any really wild picks either. So I think Nomads really slowed down after that Skyscraper win. They're deciding to play a little bit safer and not, count their eggs before they hatch. Yeah. So I think we're probably going to see some of them. We're probably going to see them just kind of bounce back and forth between the 2 upstairs sites on this map.
The common theme among Nomads is that they are slow starters. They take a while to really get into the action. We saw that on Oregon. They never really did find their footing after they started losing to Ronin. On Skyscraper, it took them a while, but they were able to close the distance at the end. And on Coastline, they've already performed better, I think, than either of the 2 maps, at least at this point in time. And could just be that maybe they're a slow starter in the sense that they start every map slow, or maybe they've just, found their footing now that now they've been able to play and have warmed up and are now starting to gel with the team. If we were in a scenario where these matches were, best of sevens or best of nines rather than or my apologies, if it was first to seven or first to nine rather than first to five, you could see a team like Nomads being particularly fearsome because even if they lose the first 2 or 3 rounds, it doesn't matter. They have a lot of time to gain that back later on in the match. Right now, Throw is inside a hookah, waiting to see who's going to peek. It's Peng, who has had a good showing over the last couple rounds, both on Oregon and now on Coastline, but will pay the price as Throw another hot hand, but for the opposing team. That's the lead-off kill. And 1 minute into the round, as Ronin will now have to work without their Thatcher. And very curious to have the Thatcher so far away from the rest of the team when his gadget sees the most use. What a nice shot from Chap to eliminate Throw, as Euphoria of the Doc using that ACOG quite well had taken Talon out not just a moment sooner.
I mean, Euphoria is a pretty fearsome player to go up against, especially when he's playing operators like Doc and Blackbeard, which tend to be just that much harder to really kill. But I mean, that pick early on from Throw is going to be pretty big because that does give them a lot more deniability on that breach from VIP into Master Bedroom.
Just sitting, just waiting. The ACOG still being put at a bit of a tighter angle. It wouldn't be too strange to see the Doc playing inside a projector over by bomb site A. One of the X-Kairos rounds will go and take out the ADS quite well. As you can now see, Euphoria will have to move. They have been able to get all those bandit charges off of the wall. Peeks around the corner, slowly peeks, but Chap is there, and that's Chap's second kill. Very lethal with that F2. Anime eliminating 9 line, and that's going to leave just Billboard and Chap. Chap is low on health, so your Twitch is just a shot or two away from death. Bill manages to open up the wall inside a penthouse and is now firmly inside and can start to get the plant off. But awaiting him is a Nitro Cell from Sharsh. They scramble as Sharsh tosses the C4 out and climbs in. That's Billboard down, and now Chap just has very little life left. He'll see the Jaeger and be pushed from 2 positions, and Sharsh able to clean up, and Nomads will retake the lead.
You're definitely right when you say that Nomad has gotten their footing a lot earlier on this map. I think it's they're one of those teams that they kind of gauge. It feels like they kind of gauge their opponents during the early rounds, and they just you're never going to see the early rounds be exactly the same from Nomads, but they're going to try different things to try to see what really works against their opponent or what works for them, how they're comfortable playing for that map. And Sharsh with 4 kills right now is going to be leading his team, while Chap and Pang are doing most of the work for their team with 3 and 4 kills respectively. Ronin is going to have to try to get back to the speed that they were at on Oregon if they're really going to want to contest for this $100 prize.
It's not even, to me, it's not even the money. It's more for bragging rights at this point. And yeah, Nomads has looked very good. They're bringing a Fuse and a Glaz with them. Having 2 Russian operators on attack is something we almost never see. And with it, a Ying too. So we were wondering when the dreaded Ying Glaz combo would rear its head, and here we go. Speaking of defendable sites, Kitchen is where Ronin is going to find themselves. And this is a site where if you can have somebody push in through main lobby and take bathroom really fast, you fuse from above, then you have Ying and Glaz pressure that B doorway. This could be a very quick get in, plant, and get out style situation. At that point, just be simply hanging on while you wait for all of them to push. And did my eyes deceive me? Was that a Fuse shield, Crazy Man?
Yes, indeed it is. But it is Sharsh with the shield. We've seen him play Blitz. He can be extremely deadly with that shield, just kind of pushing up to you menacingly. But with the Blitz, it does make it a lot easier for him to push people. So we'll see how much of a difference it makes. But yeah, I was going to mention what you said, as you said, with that Fuse, just fusing in to Kitchen from above. Callie smacking a hard wall there at first. A little bit of an oopsie. But he just get that open. And it looks like the attackers are starting to put a little bit of pressure in some places. But 9 line up above could deny the entry into there. And he does. He's going to take out Callie right at the beginning there. And Sharsh is inside right now with his Fuse shield. Just trying to be menacing as he does.
And that was a that's a good start, though. Callie now down, and if we keep going back and forth, could be in a situation where Like I said, this game could go quite the distance. Inside a hookah, let's see Sharsh try to push. He'll confront Talon, who now manages to get down bottom of blue stairs and completely give up that space, and that's smart. You don't really want to be taking a shield on at close quarters in those circumstances, and Talon able to get away without losing any health. Sharsh had lost some, just over a quarter of his health gone. He still has 2 cluster charges from what it appeared available for him to use.
And it looks like the attack has just kind of been stalled out a little bit. They're moving in pretty slowly, kind of getting a lot of control on the west side, but we're not seeing that fuse go upstairs. He does have the diffuser on him as well, so it looks like he might try to just head into kitchen and get that plant down kind of quickly. He does have the glass supporting him. The smoke grenade is going to come down, but Peng is sitting here just watching for someone to start pushing in.
Smokes rattle off. Mira just sitting and waiting. Sharsh will get the plant through the smoke. C4 will go off. It will down him as Chap finishes him off the hard way. They'll sprint right in, and there are explosions everywhere. Just like a Michael Bay movie. We'll hit the climax. Euphoria and Talon getting in on the kills. Anime drops 1, and that is the Glass being as fearsome as he can. Peng and Billboard sniped away, but the hit reg from Anime will fail him as Talon gets the better of him. It's just Chap versus Throw now as Talon gets eliminated. Chap continuously getting spotted from the drone, and he's going to have to push the Thatcher dead on. The diffuser in a spot where there's no way Chap is going to be able to get that diffuse started without getting pushed. 7 seconds, starts to whack away, but Throw will rotate through, and Nomads now takes their 2nd in a row, and they're now up 3-1.
I mean, I thought we were going to see the fuse go up above, maybe use some of his charges, but he kind of just played a bit like a normal shield operator, like you would see maybe a Monty play, where he just kind of puts the pressure on the site and goes for the kind of covered plant. He didn't really cover someone else planting. He didn't even really go for the backwards plant. I think he was there just to bait out the C4. It almost seemed completely planned out. Almost like, as you said, it was like a Michael Bay movie. There were explosions everywhere, and it seemed completely planned out from both teams. But in the end, Nomads did come out on top of that, and they're showing up massively for this map, and we are going to see them upstairs yet again, covering billiards and hookah. If they take this round, they are going to bring it to match point, getting them that much closer to being the 3rd place team for CCS Season 2.
If I recall correctly, they won this the last time they defended it as well.
They did. So, trying to remember if there was anything super exciting about that round, besides the fact that it's coastline.
Right. It wasn't routine, I would say, because I mean you can attack and defend this site very well depending on the way you do it. But if you recall correctly, they had a very strong play off-site and didn't really allow Ronin much ground to actually get to site itself. And I think that's going to be something to really look out for. Ronin stormed in, they took Anime out right off the bat, and then they held the site and had a couple roamers around to clean up kills when need be. 9 is going to take some damage from Sharsh. That's just an exchange of words, as now Peng almost gets dropped as well. So you can see very upfront defensive style for Nomads. And that must frustrate Ronin. You don't want to find yourself going down 4-1. It would be very similar to the way that we would see Oregon play out, just for a completely different team.
It looks like a lot of pressure is going on Anime, who is downstairs right now. They're trying, or no, never mind. Sorry, did he rotate up that fast? It looked like he was going to be pinned down in that position, but it looks like he did run back upstairs pretty quickly. So that's a smart rotate from him, getting back up to site like that. The Twitch drone is going to go in, see if they can really take out anything that's on site that might be useful utilities, like maybe some bandit batteries or an ADS somewhere, maybe a Grismont mine or 2. But you are very limited on what you have. 4 tasers now with that Twitch drone, so it's going to limit what Chapstick is able to do with that. 9line exchanging some shots there with Sharsh, who's playing inside of hookah. And this is, did Sharsh just, yeah, Sharsh is running outside now, so that's the aggression that you will almost always see from Nomads. I mean, they just go for it. They make a decision and they go for it. They don't second guess themselves ever, and that makes them pretty challenging to go up against.
And they've killed so much time. We're at almost a minute. Every single operator on both sides still alive, though, right now. I would say advantage in favor of Nomads, as they have had a lot of utility expended from the attackers with very minimal results. Peng and Nine still low on health. Sharsh just hanging on. The Hibana will drop into view of Sharsh, as well as Kali. Sharsh will get down by the Hibana and will need to get picked up as he crawls to safety. Billboard jumps in, was looking for a different operator, but instead takes Kali down as Nine jumps in, and now throw is off, and an advantage firmly in favor of Ronin, as they can now begin to push on B without having to worry about the two members of Nomads playing inside a site.
The C4 to deny the diffuser, that's costly, but Euphoria gets chapstick instead of the person who was there planting, and Peng is going to be sitting right on top of the diffuser, taking out Euphoria when he goes for that retake. It's now down to Sharsh and Anime as Billboard cleans up both of them, quickly pushing into Hookah and finishing up the round.
Well, that was very good. You know, I thought that Nomads was in a position to really hold on. They got a little restless. One of them peaked. It was Kali. And then after Sharsh had been taken down, the dominoes just fell from that point on. Ronin answered the call, and a pretty good push from Ronin to stave off match point for the time being, at least. Still flirting with it as Nomads at 3-2. They'll once again bring that wombo combo of the Russians. They'll bring Fuse as well as Glaz. You can, amidst the chaos, here's one thing that you can really see used that we didn't see last time around. You got the smokes from the Fuse. There is no Ying, so you're primarily going to be using those smokes from the Fuse itself. If Glaz can throw down some smokes, and then you can have the Fuse rain off a cluster charge potentially from above as the members of the defense rotate. Anime is there to pick them off. And that wasn't exactly the strategy that they used on Kitchen, but they still, amidst the chaos of a different cluster charge going off, Anime was able to push in himself and capitalize. So do look for that this time around, because if you can take over, I'm gesturing with my mouse, but the viewers can't see that. If you push into Hall of Fame, you can easily, or Bathroom rather, you can try and get a cluster charge off into either of the adjoining rooms, and then have Glaz push down and just watch the site while the explosives rattle off. Though I don't know how good a Fuse is going to be on this site, just because almost all the walls are completely reinforced. So they'll have to get a little bit creative with it, as, like I said, it's really only Hall of Fame and Bathroom that are your options.
And it looks like he is going to be bringing the shield again. He's going straight for this big window. And it looks like he's just going to try to clear out some of the utility that might be sitting there, maybe barbed wire. If for any reason there's a trap sitting there, if they had brought a frost, but we're not going to see a frost actually. So he's just going to clear out a lot of, barbed wire that might be around the bathroom area and around that big window.
So that's 2 cluster charges down, smoke going down in the corner. And we'll just go for a backwards plant, greeted by a Toxic Babe. Sharsh will try to outlast it and manage to get out at the last second, so he will have stopped that defuse in order to get to safety. Very well timed from Chap there in order to push them back. That fuse will just crouch right in. Another smoke will go down as a Toxic Babe will miss Sharsh, and he'll hop out the window as Throw eliminates 9 line. And I don't know why Sharsh got out of there when he probably could have gotten that plant down quite easily. He'll go back in now and go for another plant as a frag gets tossed over top of him. But Billboard with that C4, you gotta think that Sharsh would have had that plant if he just had it committed instead of hesitating.
I think he just was a little worried. He was ready for that C4. He kind of did the same thing before, though. Talon is going to take out Throw as the diffuser goes down, putting it to a 3v4, and Anime takes out Peng. It's now a 3v3 with the diffuser being planted. The defenders have to go for a retake. Billboard's going to take out Euphoria inside of the bathroom, and then Anime from above is going to take out Billboard. They're going for the defuse. The Glass is going to get the shots onto Chap. It's now a 2v1. Talon is downstairs by service entrance. He's going to shoot the Claymore, run outside, and not see anybody there. He has to try to get back to site in time to get this defuse.
That was 2 huge kills from the Glaz. Nomads just needs to hang on. Tough situation for Talon as he walks right into the open gunfire of Kali. Up on the window, Kush style. Kali finishes off Talon. No chance at all to outrun that fire rate, even as a 3-speed bandit. And Nomads going to lucky number 7 on match point, and this could be it for 3rd place.
we've seen Sharsh just bait himself twice. On
Hmm.
Fuse with a shield. He's just gone. I mean, both times he's gone for that backwards plant, he's just died to a C4, and then one of his teammates just kind of steps up and immediately goes for the plant afterwards. I'm not sure if it's just kind of catching Ronin by surprise, if they're not expecting to see the plant come down right after the person that was trying to plant gets taken out by a C4.
Attackers
Um,
need to locate and defuse
but
the
it's
bomb.
incredible how fast one of the other players from Nomads is able to just rotate in there and put the diffuser down. They're so prepared for it, um, that you would think it was almost scripted, and it's ridiculous.
Yeah. And Nomads will go over to hookah and billiards, a site that they are very comfortable on. Fell apart for them last time. So I find it interesting that they had an opportunity to win this 2 rounds ago. They failed. They will head back now. A couple changes that I think we'll see them make as Chap will lose his drone. Unfortunate because of how much more valuable Twitch drones are now due to the ammo changes.
Attackers recovered the
They
diffuser.
love playing the
Attackers'
rook
objective is to defuse
looking
the bomb.
towards the deck just outside of hookah, and that's always a smart play. Throw is primed and poised for a run out. You can see the
Defender has
buck
left the designated
will
safe
head below him and now walk up that staircase. He'll hit the cam, and that will let Throw know that there's somebody there. But Talon assesses the situation, sees that the doorway is open, and he'll take a lot of damage, but the damage drop off on that Scorpion Evo doesn't even take out half of Talon's HP. 9line, once again, I don't know what it is with 9line, but he just keeps taking so much damage so early on.
Attackers have dropped the bomb diffuser.
It's unfortunate for him, but like I said before, Ronin does tend to kind of fill the void left by 9line when he does end up going down. So it's not the most costly thing, but we do see 9line. Have we seen 9line on the IQ throughout the rest of this map? I'm kind of drawing up a blank
He
there.
was on this site last time.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
yes, this is the second time we're seeing it on the same site for his team.
Okay, so it does make a bit more sense that he's bringing the IQ then. Those grenades can be pretty useful. Pang is going to take out Throw there. Actually inside of Sunrise. So they're gaining a little bit of ground in Sunrise, which was a mistake that they made the first time they were attacking this. They didn't really get much ground in Sunrise too early on. I think Talon kind of pushed in, I can't even think of the call out for it, from beneath Aquarium. Chap is going to get run out on by Anime from Office. That's the room that I was looking for. So that's going to throw the attackers a little bit for a whirl. They have to kind of account for that. A lot of damage on the attacking operator so far.
A good round so far for Nomads to start things off. You've taken the Twitch off the board. 9line still very, very low, but I think it needs to be said that just because you're low on health doesn't mean that you are written off, because we have seen people with 1 or 2 HP in a dream manage to clutch rounds out. Cali still undeterred at the top of Cool Vibe Stairs, just waiting, and Sharsh playing very upfront, just like last time around. Anime gets kill number 2, this time on Peng, and we'll grab the Thatcher, leaving just 3 members of Ronin for third place point. Anime on the roam still has not been found out. He is able to run up to the terrace just outside of Hookah when need be. And you can just see the reluctance of Ronin right now to push the site. Talon under surveillance from the Valkyrie, sitting inside of Aquarium. He will meet Euphoria head on. There's now 2 members of Ronin just outside of the pool table in the final 20 seconds, and an ADS will grab a frag grenade. You can hear the deagle of Sharsh firing off as Anime gets his 3rd kill on the 9line. It's just Talon and Bill. Euphoria tosses a C4. He gets Talon, and it's just up to Billboard as Euphoria finishes it off, and Nomads will grab 3rd place and finish this series out. What a showing from an upstart group of players to take 3rd in the CCS Season 2 Invite Series.
Congratulations, Nomads, and I mean, just keep doing what you're doing. You guys are doing fantastic. I mean, the plays on Skyscraper were incredible and outlandish. The Oregon was a bit of one-sided towards Ronin, but they came back on Coastline and got their footing so early on that Ronin just didn't. They weren't able to answer it. They were not able to answer it and push them back. And Nomads took that. Was it 5-2 in the end?
It was
So
indeed 5-2.
So fantastic work from Nomads. They did exactly what they needed to adjust to their shortcomings. That C4 coming out to stop that plant from right behind the bomb. I don't think it stopped. Did it stop the planter that time, or did it stop the person to find behind him? And then
It did indeed appear to stop the planter.
okay, so I mean that adjustment right there kind of made a big difference, but at the same time, it was a 3v5. I believe we are going to take a break. It's a 6 minute break or a short break before we do our grand finals for CCS Season 2. Stick around. It is going to be Homeless versus Hydra. An exciting match, guaranteed. So stick around with us. We'll be back in just a short while.